Get ready! Skirmish!
It's time to skirmish. Vivid is hosting another tournament during CouchCon, June 24 through 26. Signups are live now, but before you jump in, veterans, there are updates to the core game you need to prepare for. Newcomers. Skirmish is a tactical player versus player card battle game similar to Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Free to play on Tabletop Simulator. 10 leader heroes each have a full deck of followers, actions, events, and more. You select a combo of 2 leaders, combine their decks, and then battle in 3 spatial lanes to the bitter end against your opponent's heroes. A new video will introduce the basic mechanics soon, but this next part is for veterans only. It gets technical, you've been warned. And vets, thank you for jumping into tournaments and test sessions. With your feedback, the team at Vivid has tightened the screws, and we're excited to reveal Vivid Publishing's fine-tuned Skirmish 2.0. Here is what has changed. First, a clarification on speed. You don't just need it to attack. You spend 1 speed in order to defensively intercept. And furthermore, even if your character is the original target, you have to spend speed to inflict your damage on the attackers. So if there's a big enemy follower, it's no longer futile to attempt a swarming, attrition-oriented strategy. A reminder that every deployed character's speed refreshes during every player's start phase. Next up, a character's life total cannot exceed their starting maximum. Tinsel's seize mechanic was generating confusion. Political manipulation and stealing followers can have that effect. Seize has been worded more precisely for maximal clarity. Seized characters, followers or heroes, go into the hand of Tinsel's owner, unless the card used states an exception. She controls the seized character until their usefulness has ended. And with Tinsel seizing folks, we added clarification regarding friendly and enemy cards. Even if a character started on your team, if they're seized and controlled by your opponent, look out. Minor clarification to the range terminology. A character card isn't considered nearby to itself, when counting up how many characters contribute to a nearby effect. This is especially applicable to Wisp's support group continuous event. And speaking of continuous events now have an Achilles heel. If they are channeled, they get discarded once their leader hero is taken out. Specifically, Ravat's channeled power cards need him to stay around if they're going to stay active. We'll go by character. No changes to Igrath, Bast, Tendril, or Scuttles. You're all beautiful. Flawless. There are no changes. Let's start with the Troika. Distraction clarifies that even when protecting a character targeted by a skirmish, the attacker still spent a speed attempting to initiate that encounter. Better luck next time. We had a playtester pull something real cute with this combo. The original wording of the cards allowed him to force 2 enemy characters to fight, and he tossed one of them a rifle right beforehand. While hilarious, it's not quite how these cards were supposed to work. V is only handing rifles out to friendly characters now, and confrontation makes things simpler by using a speed buff. The wording was a little tricky on Cinter's leader card, so we redrafted for clarity. If he ends the turn on his normal side, you flip him. That puts him in stealth mode with a lower attack. Then anytime you want, you can spend a resolve to move him to another lane and flip him back to his beefed up attack damage at the same time. Typo fixed, the Indigos can now attack. I bet they even like it. Wisp, 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 and Wisp. The deck Wisps are now unique, as there were some uncontrollable chain reactions that could happen otherwise, especially with the OG version of Support Group. A note, all Wisp deck heroes generate Wisp character resolve, so even if the leader goes down, you can still potentially use her channeled cards if she's got some deck hero Wisps deployed. Support Group is now unique as well, with that clarification added for the definition of nearby. Political Influence has clarified wording to jive with the upgraded definition of seize. This card in particular is nasty, as it lets her instantaneously plant a seized follower right back into the lane she pulled it from without paying the cost, turning the tables on the other player. The new seize definition made some of the wording on deep connections superfluous, so we cleaned that up to avoid confusion. Not so fast, big guy. Ravat's very deadly flip ability now requires a leader hero to bite it, not just any deck hero or follower. Gruesome Display no longer requires the sacrifice of a hero. Now any friendly character, hero or follower, can be used to fuel this event, but it doesn't totally skip the opponent's turn anymore. Instead, the other player characters have 0 speed that doesn't refresh during the start phase like normal. So all in all, Gruesome Display got a little weaker, but it is more likely to be used. A clarification on Hunt. It only grants an extra speed buff the first time you damage the targeted character. So it no longer creates an open loop of potentially endless attacking. Especially with speed being necessary for a defending character to convey damage to an attacker, it was necessary to prevent a recursive mechanic from emerging here. Ravat's knives were getting a little out of hand. Literally, they were getting out of his hands. Lacerate is now a channeled event. Only the big guy gets to use his favorite toys. If you can download Tabletop Simulator, then you have at least what it takes to play. The links below lead to the Tabletop Simulator mod, the Discord server where players organize matches, the updated rules doc, and, if you're up for it, the tournament sign-up form. The sign-up form has all the fine print. This year's prizes, we are going full metal. Brushed silver finish glimmering metal art cards for the 3 runners-up, featuring one of the leader heroes they used in the game, and an 8x10 Skirmish metal art print for the champion, signed by Dave and Liz. Anyone interested in Skirmish, come to CouchCon and watch the matches stream live. CouchCon is happening June 24 through 26 at couchcon.org, with this tournament and a whole lot more going on. And as for Skirmish, we are psyched to have the 2.0 rule set ready to play together. This was the necessary gateway before we could roll on the next expansion decks. We look forward to testing some brand new leader heroes with you, and remember, when they're polished enough for crowdfunded printing, we will be including the modified Skirmish 2.0 cards with those expansion decks free of charge, so you can update your original deluxe boxed game. But first, it's tournament time. Sign-ups below, stay tuned, and fight hard.